Welcome to the top 5 sports callers of the week. Number 5.
Scott from Detroit joined Valenti and Foster to tell the guys why he's done with the Tigers this year.
Mike, I got to tell you, I'm done, man. I will still watch. I'm still a fan. But emotionally, I can't do it anymore. I mean, I'll tell you why. Me and my buddies, every year, golf outing, my only competitive event of the year, somewhat. I mean, we're drinking, having a good time. But on Sunday afternoon, you want to win that jacket, you know?
You guys play for a jacket?
Oh, yeah, we play for a cream jacket. It's,
Scott, I got to be honest, I'm more interested in talking about your golf tournament than I am the Tigers. That is outstanding.
Well, it's the Derelict Invitational, you know, and we do it every year. But long story short, on Sunday, you have to have a winner's mentality. And when you lose over and over again, year to year to year in the clutch games, we call it mentally soft. And you got to have a way to get over it. And with Ausmus, I do not envy his position. He's a new coach, and he's trying to tell these guys, how is he going to tell them that they can win? You know, I mean, you had Leland before. They listened to Leland, but Ausmus got a tough job, man.
Number 4.
Angelo from East Rockaway hopped on with Beningo and Roberts with a novel idea for a trade to improve the Mets.
The people that we have, forget Sandy, forget Omar, forget all those guys. How about the guys out in the field that we have in the Met organization that are picking these players? Like, in other words, they come to the brass and go, hey, I got a guy for you, or I got a guy here. Let's pick this guy, or let's pick that guy. Because my question is, the people, it seems to me that every time they bring up a player, no matter what it is, an infielder, an outfielder, they all look alike. They all have, none of them do anything that you would say, what's part of his game? So my question to you today, and I'll leave you on this, is instead of trading Neese and a couple of these other guys that all the Mets fans want to get rid of, wouldn't it be beneficial to look down at who's picking our players? And maybe if you, and this is a joke really, Ed, but if you want to trade John Neese, trade him to Tampa for 2 of their scouts, okay? Or trade Plawecki and this other guy to the Cardinals for 2 scouts, because that's where we're getting killed, brother, and I'll leave you on that.
Well, Number 3.
James from McDonough, Georgia, called into the Rick and Jamie show because he wants to put more pressure on University of Georgia head football coach Mark Richt.
I just want to get this out of the way real quick, just from the previous caller. I was also a student, tried to be a walk-on athlete, didn't work out. But the difference between me and the athlete is I'm not making the school millions of dollars. That is also helping me, giving me utensils to go through school like these athletes are. The athletes need to be paid. Now, on Mark Richt, do I think it's true? No. Do I think it should be true? Obviously. If you told any Georgia Bulldog fan 15 years ago when we hired Mark Richt that we would have a top 5 recruiting class every year, and the Volunteers and Gators who bludgeoned us every year would be hot human garbage, we would think, okay, we have at least 3 or 4 national titles and at least 10 SEC titles by now. The heat needs to be turned up on Rick immediately.
Number 2.
Anthony from Belleville joined Boomer and Carton to give the Yankees a nickname from a children's book.
Ding dong.
Who is it?
It's 6 games back. Woo!
He's talking about the Orioles versus
I know what he's talking about.
I understand that, Evan.
That's what the Yankees are. The little engine that could. I think I can.
You know what? They may be the little engine that could, but it's in a Mercedes. Let's face it.
Number 1.
The top spot goes to Tony from Akron, who called in to the Kylie and Carmen show after a discussion on game-worn collectible items, saying that LeBron's sweat probably doesn't even smell.
I don't think that you really smell a stench. When you have professional athletes, they're extremely hydrated. So they're going to sweat all they want, but it's not like acid sweating where there's perspiration and a little bit of body odor.
Wait a minute. You're suggesting this doesn't smell?
The NBA players sweat so clean, it doesn't.
LeBron's
so great, he glows.
Tony, have you ever sweated in anything that didn't smell?
Yeah, I wrestled in college, and I know you played. You played a little bit in the pros.
Yeah, he won't shut up about it.
Yeah, my shirt. Oh yeah, my shirts. They talk to me. I used to send them shopping. They had a life of their own.
Well, you got to remember, he's an elite athlete. He's on a diet plan, just like all these guys in the NBA. They're eating right. They're drinking a plenty. You can sweat there's a lot of sweat. If you lick your forehead and you're sweating, it's salty. But when you're an athlete,
all right, Tony, the lick your forehead. You lost me on the lick your forehead.
LeBron sweats apricots and green beans.
Tune in every week to hear the wildest callers and the wittiest banter as CBS Local Sports brings you the top 5 sports callers of the week.